Welcome back to the Raptors Wrap-Up podcast. I'm your host, Aravind Lingam. Let's break it down what happened this week. Faced off against Brooklyn. Win. 9-game winning streak. Indiana, 10-game winning streak. Dallas, the next day, back-to-back. Another win. Tying a franchise high 11-game winning streak. Fourth game tonight. What a game, but Raptors unable to pull it out against the Oklahoma City Thunder, who've been playing pretty strong lately. Russell Westbrook and Steven Adams, unbelievable tonight. Impossible to guard that pick and roll. DeLon Wright was thrown on Westbrook. Kyle Lowry. Ibaka was guarding Steven Adams. Jakob Poeltl, Nogueira, JV, nobody could stop him. Raptors had no chance of guarding that pick and roll, but still in this game, Russell Westbrook put up a disgusting line, 30, 10, 10, 30 plus, 10 plus, 10 plus. Another triple-double for Russell Westbrook, fifth straight. He is now, I believe, fourth or fifth on the triple-double list, behind Magic Johnson and Oscar Robertson, and one more guy. So, honestly, the Raptors, they pretty much had a chance in this game, but late calls down the stretch did not go in their favor, and man, the officiating in this game was pretty shady, to be honest. I don't blame the entire game on the officials though, because the Raptors did put themselves in that position by not being able to play any defense, no defensive rebounding whatsoever. I believe JV had less than 5 rebounds in the entire game. He just couldn't box out Steven Adams. Steven Adams was a monster. You know how it is. Steven Adams leads the NBA in offensive rebounding. He is, I believe, the only player since Dennis Rodman to average more offensive rebounds than defensive rebounds. You got Russell Westbrook killing on the defensive glass right now, the triple-double machine. And then you got Steven Adams abusing you on the other end. It's going to be a tough game to beat. Carmelo Anthony was hitting his shot. Corey Brewer, man. I don't like this, these flopping and flailing in the hands, but he does it and sells it with the best of them, to be honest. The foul that he got away with on DeMar DeRozan was huge. DeMar DeRozan was frustrated after that play, pretty much sealed it when he got ejected. And then, for good taste, Ibaka was thrown out. And then, for some reason, I don't know why, Dwayne Casey was thrown out. Fans were asking, "Oh, go get thrown out," but what's the point of that, right? So, Casey couldn't believe it. I didn't believe Casey said anything. Larry was laughing because he was shocked how unbelievably bad these refs were. But at the end of the day, the Raptors could not come up with enough stops to win this game. Larry got fouled out on some questionable calls. His fourth and fifth foul were questionable. His sixth foul on the moving pick, it was a good call. Of course, your favorite player of all time, Corey Brewer, flailing his arms as he got hit. So he sold it. He sold the call. He made it. He got Larry fouled out, and that was a momentum shift right then and there because Larry was having a great game. He sat out most of the third because he was in foul trouble. Picked up his fifth foul around the his fourth foul around the 9-minute mark. Pretty much sat him out the entire third after that. Picked up a terrible fifth foul. And the sixth didn't come that far off. So I thought Larry's going to be tough anyway. So the Raptors went 3-1 the past week. Right? Brooklyn, good win. Indiana, tough win. Pretty much the Raptors battled them all the way up into the third, and in the fourth quarter the Raptors took over. Defense and offense both picked up at the same time. Showed the Indiana Pacers who they're messing with. First seed, powerhouse, on both ends of the court, and that was a good one, 106-99, I believe the score was. Extended our winning streak to 10. Then we flew back into Toronto on a back-to-back to face the Dallas Mavericks. Lowry got the rest for that game, so he did not play. But man, Rick Carlisle makes sure his guys are ready every night. So the Raptors must bring their A game. They were put to the test as the Dallas Mavericks. Man, they came out to play, pounded on the Raptors early. Raptors somehow came back in this game in the fourth. DeMar DeRozan was fantastic when it mattered most. The game was going back and forth, but the Raptors just came out with a few more plays than they did. Serge Ibaka with a huge block on Dennis Smith Jr. when Dennis Smith Jr. tried dunking on the Raptors. Huge mistake for him, as Serge Ibaka told him, no. Put the fingers down. He got him. And then the Raptors sealed him out in the overtime. Big play by Serge Ibaka to get an offensive rebound. Kick it out to Van Vliet for the three. Bam. That was a dagger. Raptors sealed with free throws. Big win. That win gave the Raptors their franchise high 11-game winning streak, tying the franchise high 11-game winning streak that was set by the Raptors a couple years ago in 2016. And then the Raptors played OKC tonight, and as you heard, the Raptors lost, snapping their 11-game winning streak. Plus, the OKC Thunder have been playing well recently. So now we're talking about what else is going on in the NBA. The rest of the teams in the East aren't doing so well, which is great for the Raptors. You have the Celtics in the number 2 spot, struggling right now. Kyrie Irving is injured, knee issues, the same knee issues that Kyrie Irving used to threaten the Cleveland Cavaliers to trade him. He said apparently that he would sit out the entire NBA season and get knee surgery if they didn't trade him. People believe that would be a bluff. They didn't have any knee problems, but lo and behold, his knee problems are coming out now, and the Celtics are taking the safe path and letting him rest up, I believe, before the playoffs, so they can probably play him maybe a week or two before the playoffs, get him in a little bit of a rhythm. But he's out. Then you have Marcus Smart apparently re-injured the same hand that he punched the hotel room picture frame and injured his hand previously, so he's out too. Two of the key guys, to be honest. Marcus Smart may not be a starter, but his impact is huge, so he's out. And the Celtics just lost today to the Pelicans, so the standings don't move. But you also have everybody else in the East struggling. So you have Cleveland, of course, you know their story. Lost 5 of their last 8 games. LeBron James is screaming at this Tyronn Lue, complaining about how, I guess, it's just the players aren't playing well. And the Tyronn Lue's like, you're taking bad shots, just going back and forth. Then you got Rodney Hood injured. You got Tristan Thompson injured. And you got Kevin Love still injured. And you got Larry Nance Jr. injured. So they're playing a bunch of guys who are not going to get any minutes on any of those other 8 teams in the East. You got Holland, who I've never seen him play before, playing. Ante Zizic is getting big minutes. They have no bigs whatsoever. So for now, they're just rotating a bunch of guys. I believe Jeff Green plays center in some lineups, and Kyle Korver plays power forward in some lineups. So they're pretty thin in their bench. Then they've lost a few games right now, so they're Right now, still at the third seed, a half a game above both Indiana and Washington. Indiana, after we beat them, they fell on the standings. They were initially third, but now they're tied for Washington for fourth and fifth. Washington is starting to get their groove back a little, but they desperately need John Wall to come back, because that little reign that they had where with John Wall out, they were killing it, disappeared in a heartbeat. They've been losing like crazy lately, and they're not able to break down the defenders off the dribble as much anymore. Bradley Beal's put on too much of a load offensively, and he isn't able to keep up. Right now, he said he's tired in one of those games. So you can tell that John Wall is definitely needed. Then you got Philadelphia, who started off pretty well after the All-Star break. Was playing well, but then recently they've cooled off. 6-4 in their last 10 games. Not bad, but definitely not a great 10 games. They've lost to some bad teams, but definitely they need some shooting. They can't spread the floor, and everybody's just closing in on the inside, and they're struggling to beat bad teams. I believe they were down to the New York Knicks before they pulled it off in the fourth quarter, which is not good. The New York Knicks are a lottery team. Their best player is out, so they're just playing with a bunch of I would say scrubs, but below average players right now. Then you got Milwaukee and the Miami Heat. Both those teams not playing well. Both teams are just interchanging between 7th and 8th, so right now Philly doesn't have to worry as much. Both Miami and Milwaukee, for some reason, are both struggling right now, which is great for us because most likely we'll get one of those two teams as our first round matchup. And then injury wise, the Raptors also have their own injuries. We have Fred VanVleet, who is injured. He has a hand bruise. He was also reevaluated. They say it was a wrist injury initially. He did not play in the OKC game today. Definitely could have used his impact, as the bench struggled in the second half against the OKC bench. First half they were good. Wasn't able to extend the lead or bring the Raptors back in this one. But we did get OG back, which was a nice sighting to see. He did struggle, which was expected. He's missed about 7 games now. So it was, I would say, a decent game to come back. Tough matchup, of course. You has to check Paul George, Russell Westbrook. It was a pretty tall task to ask for a guy who just came off injury, but he played okay. Then you got pretty much, I think Norman Powell was out for a little bit, then he came back. So otherwise the team is quite healthy. But this Raptors team, they've been playing at a high level recently. And just coming off 11-game win streak where they've beat some tough teams. So right now the Raptors have, I believe, a 4-game cushion on the Boston Celtics for the first seed. And well, by the way the Celtics are going, it looks like the Raptors will hold on. So the Raptors' next 4 games, the upcoming week, you got in Orlando, which should be a win. Then you got, I believe, a national televised game against the Cleveland Cavaliers in Cleveland. That's a tough game for sure, especially in LeBron's house. You know, LeBron wants to make a statement because sometimes he gets riled up for these big games, especially on national televised games. So then you have, to close out the week, you got both Brooklyn at home, and then you got LA Clippers at home. So both home games for Raptors, they have a good chance of winning these ones. Honestly, the Clippers, it might be a tricky one just for the fact that they are hungry. They're trying to make the playoffs. They're in the hunt. They're one of the bubble teams that are just falling into the playoffs or falling out of the playoffs. Right now, they're fighting right there. So I expect the Raptors to go, let's say, 3-1 this week. Both the Cleveland game and the Clipper game are probably the two toughest games where I don't know if they might lose one of them, but 3-1 still is a decent record. It won't allow the Boston Celtics to catch up, and definitely it's a good competition for the Raptors to prepare for before the playoffs begin. And for all your post-game coverage on these games, you can visit my site below. It's also in the description below as well. I do post-game reactions on the Raptors, and I dissect how they're doing. I list some of the things that they take away from this game, who the player of the game was, and pretty much a breakdown of how the game progressed from beginning to the end, who played well, who didn't play well, and stuff like that. Whenever you guys get a chance, check it out. Leave me a comment. Let me know if I need to work on something. Any comment is great. Love it. And that's pretty much it. March Madness is going great. If you guys get a chance, check out March Madness. If my bracket was busted completely, I've been Gonzaga winning the championship, so my champion is still in, but I have Michigan State coming out of that division, they're gone. I had Cincinnati coming out of the other division, they're gone too. So pretty much it's going to be a low seed coming out of that direction, but hopefully Gonzaga wins the championship, because I got some bet on this one, so let's keep it rolling. Otherwise, for your latest Raptors news, this is Arvind signing off from the Raptors Wrap Up podcast. Peace.